10 things that may have wrecked Frank's BIM meeting.
Let's take a look. So the first one is that BIM is not usually the day job of the owner, of the person that you're speaking with.
It's one of the first things we need to realize too, as someone who speaks BIM language all day and is looking up and reading, and an owner's day job is not that. So when we have meetings with, even owners or other team members, we need to realize, that they might not understand
they have different priorities.
The potential.
Yep. And so one really important thing is not to get too technical. So this might be Frank in his meeting, where he shares, I haven't had time to summarize my 5 years of BIM research, so I just want to go through all the raw data.
Yeah, and sometimes you feel compelled to show data and show all this information of what we could do, but really it goes in one ear, out the other, the more technical you get, because now you're beginning to use language that is unfamiliar.
There you go.
And that's where
BIM jargon. Yep.
All the BIM jargon starts to come in, right? You start using abbreviations. Oh, this means that. This is that. Don't worry, it's all set. I'll give you an index of all this later. But come on, really, are we all going to learn this? Are we all going to go back and reference this information?
Is an owner going to understand what a BXP and a BIM spec and MPS and LOD and FM and COBie, and are they really bothered about that?
Let's keep it simple.
So less jargon. What else might have happened?
Did he bring the right people involved? Did he invite the right people?
Maybe.
Did the owner know which people they should bring?
Maybe not, but it's definitely important to involve the right people. Being able to agree and commit to certain milestones or information that we'll be providing on a project, we need to have everyone's input to see if that would be something that we can promise and
it's
not
everyone.
overcommit.
It's not just the digital disruptors, the BIM nerds. It's also those project managers and teams that are really in the day-to-day of the project. Everyone is affected. Everyone is affected. And that really emphasis on getting the right people in the room should be very, very important to everyone so that you don't waste people's time. And then we've seen, so Frank might have started his meeting with a set of project documents that maybe have been copied and pasted from a previous project.
That might just be confusing because my project might not have required a lot of that information that you brought in from another previous project. So why, as an owner, would I be seeing these things in there?
It can be erroneous data. It can be more work because you have to clean up. It can feel like a lean way of working, as in it is quick to create, but the results we have seen be drastic and very, very painful when things can go pretty wrong.
We've been there.
Absolutely, and that's personal experience.
It's because I've been asked to create a document or BIM execution plan.
Can I have it yesterday?
Yeah, that was due yesterday. So hence the square
peg in a round hole doesn't work. Trying to repurpose something is very difficult. So the sixth one, Frank might have just been selling the BIM dream and saying to the owner how they're going to save so much money and how this is going to be perfect workflow and it's going to be seamless and instant bottom line return.
Yeah, and it's really good to sell this kind of stuff, but sometimes you have to be more specific in terms of what is actually necessary for the project.
And when you oversell it, the owner tends to think that
if you're a really good salesman,
it's easy. There's just, BIM is easy. It's an easy button.
Well, we've all known, you've already done this in 3D. Can't we just click a button and get this and that from it?
Yeah, I only want to change this, and then all of the drawings update and everything is automatic. So therefore, it's not. It's hardly any change.
My dad always tells me, "Wouldn't you do this a lot faster?" Yeah, I'm like, it's not that easy, pal.
And so when people do think it's easy, then they tend to ask for everything. And especially when there's been a huge promise of return and a great opportunity for savings and in time and cost. And then, well, it would make sense, surely, to ask for everything. But that's the crime of the century. Please be very precise in what you are solving for and what the customer really needs.
Well, be mindful of the time it takes to accomplish all of those BIM uses, or what the budget might take as well. So being very clear with that with the owner is a good step.
Absolutely. And sometimes when the owner has had an over-inflated expectation and maybe not had that delivery in the way that he would expect, she would expect, they could be traumatized by previous experiences.
It might not just be the client either. It's just the other team members involved as well that might be in that meeting. So we've all experienced that. traumatized, but keep
BIM,
moving.
BIM trauma, BIM trauma. And then that set of occurrences where they might have had bad experience, they might just settle for the traditional delivery process. And we know that that doesn't account for the resources and the time and the money that might be required up front to be able to get the benefit. So some of those could have been the reasons why Frank had a little bit of a difficulty. And all of those 10 different reasons lead to poor requirement scoping and also overpromising so that you can impress the owner. Because everyone wants the owner to be impressed and you would like repeat work. Mm-hmm. But it really needs to be on decent grounds, and lean BIM requirements, if we can get there, would really help, really solve a lot of those challenges. So how do we get there?